Time now for the Wiltfong Whiparound with our Director of Recruiting, Steve Wiltfong. Steve, two big commitments today, but let's look ahead because it's on to the next. I mean, this weekend, four-star offensive lineman Isendre Ahfua out of Seattle will announce his commitment. You can watch that live Saturday at 8 o'clock right here on the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel. A few days out, where are you leaning?
I like where Texas A&M stands with Papa Ahfua. Love that nickname. He took his official visit there in June. Talked to him after the visit. He said his time in College Station was amazing. The highlight that stood out was the player panel, current players talking about academics, the ins and outs of the school, the overall environment they're in, the 40-year plan versus the 4-year plan. He elaborated on the networking, and he just said it was so impressive. Just loves the people, loves the staff, loves Coach Bobby Petrino and the offense moving forward. Coach Adazio, his track record, and Mason Smith, the off-field recruiter, all those guys involved in putting Texas A&M in the best position as they battle Utah and Miami going into Saturday night's announcement.
Steve, if Papa ends up choosing A&M, he will join an Aggies class that currently sits inside the top 15 nationally and is looking to add even more weapons heading into the season. Who else is Jimbo Fisher on as we approach the fall?
Yeah, we're used to seeing Texas A&M find their way into the top 10, and if you look at the targets that they have moving forward, that's absolutely realistic. Obviously, Papa Ahfua, we like where they stand there. This could be one of the best offensive line classes in the country, Blair. They beat LSU for Weston Davis. They also have Ashton Funk and Cohen Eccles in the fold. And I also like where Texas A&M stands with top 247 offensive tackle Blake Ivy. So if they can add Ivy and Ahfua, that would be a ferocious offensive line haul for the Aggies. We, of course, love where Texas A&M stands with the #1 athlete recruit in our 24/7 Sports rankings, Terry Bussey. He talked to me earlier about perhaps announcing before the season, but I think he wants to take some visits, LSU, A&M. So right now, I think A&M's the one to beat. We'll see if LSU can change that. Texas A&M's trying to rise with 5-star corner Kobe Black. I probably give Texas the edge there right now. Nigel Smith, they're battling Oklahoma for the top 247 defensive lineman. They lead for Xavier Atkins on the crystal ball. Aiden Breland and Ryan Wingo are 2 5-stars they're trying to make hay with. Also Micah Hudson. And then Zena Umeozulu is a top 247 in-state defensive lineman that they would love to land, that they're in the thick of it for.
A lot to keep an eye out for. Another announcement this weekend, 4-star wide receiver Jeremiah McClellan. The St. Louis product will pick between Ohio State, LSU, Oregon, and the in-state school Missouri. Your crystal ball favors the Buckeyes. Why do you like Ohio State here?
Well, I think it just comes down to the relationship and track record of offensive coordinator, receivers coach Brian Hartline. Ryan Day and his offense speaks to him, proximity to home. St. Louis has been a bit of a pipeline for Ohio State. Now, there's been times where Oregon has made me nervous about my crystal ball forecast, Mizzou making a late run, but I like where the Buckeyes stand as they try to add to a class that ranks #2 nationally.
While the Ducks continue to battle for McClellan and make you nervous, Steve, they did score a recruiting victory over soon-to-be Big Ten rival USC, flipping Dakota Fields from Gardena Serra, school that they went to get Roderick Pleasant and beat out the Trojans in their own backyard. Who else is on your radar as it pertains to the Oregon Ducks?
Yeah, so Oregon, they had a top 10 class last cycle. They're trying to have one this cycle. They're #3 already in 2025. So they're as hot as any school in the country. On the trail, you talk about some of their major targets moving forward, a few 5-stars. You got Brandon Baker, our #1 ranked offensive tackle. Now they're battling Texas. There's some people around Texas that think they could ultimately land Baker. Great relationship with Ohio State offensive line coach Justin Fry, but we know Oregon's in the middle of that one. They've been a mainstay for him. Same goes with his teammate, 5-star edge rusher, defensive end Aiden Breland. Texas A&M's trying to push hard there. Georgia, of course, but like Oregon, Braden Platt, top 247 linebacker, they're battling Oklahoma for. But some people like Oregon. You know, Eddie Pierre-Louis is a massive lineman from Tampa, Florida. I wrote this week that there's some confidence around Oregon, Oklahoma. You guys are going to be talking to Andrew Ivins later in the show. You can't sleep on UCF or anybody, particularly an in-state player, but Oregon loves him. They've been in the thick of that one for a while. They're trying to make a move on top 247 running back Jason Brown. Michigan State, the leader, but Oregon got him on campus at the end of July. Still have their official visit in place, so that runway setting up nicely. And then Blair, Jericho Johnson, he's one of the most coveted defensive linemen in the country, maybe the most sure thing at the position out west to be a guaranteed good college football player. And Oregon is definitely near the top of his list. Our Brandon Huffman also reporting USC, Utah, and Washington on his short list, but Oregon's loved them for a while. They're going to have a great shot to get them.
Steve, I got one more question for you, but you know what we got to do. We got to remind the people. Hit that like button. Oh, he's throwing up the 2 thumbs up right now. Just trust me, people. Make sure that you hit the like button. Yes, we know that you're watching. All right, you put in a crystal ball this week for Miami to land this guy. 2025 quarterback Luke Nickel, the Georgia native, has offers from Florida State, Michigan State, North Carolina, Penn State. I think you see where I'm going with this. A lot of offers. But what has you leaning Canes here?
Well, he visited Miami at the end of July, got a chance to throw with the coaching staff, work with Shannon Dawson, attended the cookout, toured the campus, spent time with Mario Cristobal and company. I think that they love the energy and atmosphere around that program. And talking to a couple sources, Miami is definitely the one to beat right now as he perhaps closes in on a college decision.
All right, Steve, thanks so much for being here on the show today. You can read more of his work on 24/7. There we go. Thumbs up. You can read more of his work on 247sports.com. Also, we tell you this every single show, but I really mean it. If you want that juicy, exclusive information, become a VIP member.